In a fairyland, there lived 7 incredibly beautiful fairies. They were not just good friends but were so close that they seemed more like sisters. They loved each other so much that they spent their days together. Every morning, they would go to the garden to play and have fun. Seeing their deep bond, the queen of the fairyland had swings of different kinds installed in the garden for them. After playing, they would return home in the evening and do their work together. The 7 fairies had also built a beautiful home where they lived happily. Their friendship was famous throughout the fairyland. One day, after their usual morning walk in the garden, they returned home at noon and fell asleep. When they woke up in the evening, they saw that one of their friends was suffering from a high fever. Continued, one of them quickly called a healer. The healer informed them that the only cure for the sick fairy was an enchanted flower that grew above the waterfall near the mountain. He also reminded them how high and dangerous the waterfall was. One fairy spoke up, "Yes, wise healer. We all know how risky it is, but bringing that flower is essential for our friend's recovery. We will go together to get it, no matter how dangerous it is, even if we have to risk our lives." The next morning, they decided that one fairy would stay with the sick friend while the rest would go to retrieve the flower. Upon reaching the waterfall, they tried to fly higher, but the height was beyond their strength. Exhausted, they soon had to come back down. One of the fairies stepped forward and said, "Today, our sister's life is in danger, so we must bring that flower at any cost." Saying this, the 5 fairies held hands and declared, "By joining hands, our magical power will increase, and we will succeed in getting the flower." This time, they combined their strength, flew higher, and finally reached the waterfall. From a distance, they spotted a white flower and immediately understood that its essence would cure their sick friend. One of the fairies said, "You all stay here near the waterfall, and I will go ahead to pluck the flower." Saying this, she moved forward and successfully picked the flower. But before she could return, the strong water currents and wind made her lose balance. The white flower was still in her hand, but she was being swept away by the rushing waves. Seeing this, the 4 fairies were horrified. Holding hands tightly, they quickly rushed to save her and managed to pull her out